You can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too. You can do it too. You can do it too.
Hi, my name is Lydia Forte-Santiago, and I'm here once again with our little painting, Summer Breeze, on You Could Do It Too. And remember, if I can do it, so can you. So let's get started. Here we go. Now today, what we're going to do is we're going to reinstate what we did in the last show. In the first show, we blocked everything out. We had toned our canvas and we had blocked it out. Now what we're going to do is we're going to reinstate it. So we're going to take our little brush and I'm going to mix a little black with a little green and we're going to redefine. The word is redefine. And we're going to go to these little trees and we're going to add some shadows here because somehow if there's no shadows, there is no dimension. So let's put in the shadows. Let's draw the line right here. And then we can kind of bring these trees like this. And we can, now watch my stroke of the brush. You see the way I move the brush? The brush has to change in strokes. You have to twist it, you got to turn it. And if there's just a few tiny little leaves that you can go like that, so that you see that there's like little leaves there, that's fine. And then the rest of it, you can just make it like a blur. Because people are actually, the spectator looks and they see that. They see little fuzzes of leaves, so you can see it's a tree. The rest, you fuzz it out and it's there. Old masters used to do that. They would do a portrait and they would do very fine. At the end where the shoe was and they were standing, they would blur it out. But the spectator sees the shoe, even if the whole shoe is not there. Same thing with this. We draw these little leaves and we just put in the top like this. Now we're going to take a little bit yellow ochre and we're going to put a little yellow ochre with some little yellow because it's a sunny day. So we're going to just bring that in. And we're going to put it in like this, just to bring it in. And have this all lit up a little bit. And there we go. Take this, and we add, and we just kind of like, it's really the top. It's hitting in the top. And then we could take this little brush, which is really a little bigger brush, and you could kind of like just there. Like that. And you tap it. You see what I'm doing? I'm tapping it. I'm tapping this, and then you could go like this. And there's a little tree over there, like that. And you bring it like that. Then right in here, there's some of the sky, and it's showing up. I take a little bit more of, this is titanium white I'm using. And I take with a little blue because right in here there's a separation that you could see this in Crook's Point. There's like a little tree and you could see it there and it kind of separates from the other. And we want to make that kind of distinct. So let's do that. Yeah, like that. That looks a little better, And then you could spread it out with the bigger brush. Wipe, wipe, wipe. You have to wipe. And use your gloves. You have to use your gloves because this painting shouldn't be all over your hands. Like that. And then you could, now I'm patting. See, every time the stroke changes in so many ways. Now we could throw some shadows over here because if this was sand, there would be some shadows running like this on the sand because all these little trees would throw some shadow. So let's do that. And over here, there would be a little shadow too from that. See, so now already it's beginning to take a little bit more form. And down over here, there would be a little dirt because it would be from the water and everything and the sand. So you kind of want to define that and make it come out. So kind of that looks a little bit better. And then here, this part here, we want to make this horizon just a little bit more intense. So what I'm going to take here is a little bit of white, which again is titanium white. Oh, it's gray. I'm mixing it with black so I get a gray cast. And again, now I have to go back to my maul stick because you see, I want it like a straight line. So I'm going to go from the beach and I'm going to bring it out like that. So you could see there. So that's a little better. So you could see is there like that. So you could see. And then, like I said, if I put a little too much paint, which I did in that particular spot, you wipe. You just wipe it off. You wipe it off like that. So you still see it, but you see it diffuse. So it doesn't look so like I drew it. You don't want to make it look like I drew it. You want to make it just a little bit more subtle, a little bit soft, you know. So now, and then we could also take a little bit of crimson. This color here is crimson. So let's take this little color here, which is a alizarin crimson, which is a very pretty color, and you mix it with the titanium white. You know, I'm working with, these are very good colors that I'm working with. Sometimes I use Old Holland. Sometimes I use Holbein. There's a very good brand of paint. This particular one, I believe, is Holbein paintings. And now I'm going to take this little crimson and I'm going to spread it like that. I'm going to spread this. And you know, sometimes you see the skies like this too. They're like, and you add a little color and you look at it from the distance and you see how pretty it can look, you know. And you just continue. It's always reinstating, and that's it, you know. And like I said, you can do it too. You know. Always remember, if I can do it, you can do it. So this is, see now this is, you got to soften these lines up. So they're there, but they're subtle. You know. Now right in here, there's a little bit of dark color here with a little bit of, again, titanium white, because I use a little, there's a lot of white in this particular color. So I'm going to just kind of like brush this stroke like this, like that, you know, like this. And underneath, like this, you know. And then over here, like that, there. And you know, when you like the painting that you've done, you enjoy it, and then you want to do others, you know. So that's, you kind of get hooked with this. It's really, really enjoyable. Painting is my passion. It's always been. But a lot of us have the talent. The only thing is, you sometimes don't have the opportunity because of you're working and making money and doing all sorts of things, and you really can't get to tap on your potential. And this particular show is to tap on your potential and bring it out, you know. And because of working or things to do and children and all sorts of things, you don't get to do it. So this is just to show and remind you that bring out the talent that you have. Now if you look at the painting, look how pretty it's coming out. It looks lovely. And you spread this. You see what I'm doing? I'm taking the brush and I'm spreading it out. Those strokes was from the last show. Now I'm just blending them in so they look soft. Now look how pretty it's beginning to look. You know, it looks really, really nice. And over here where these trees are, you can take kind of like a little bit darker green and you can kind of emphasize these trees like this. So some like that, and they come out. Now look, now over here, watch this. Now look how pretty. Just by doing that, look what happened. And then on the top, you're doing leaves. So you take the little, that little tip of the brush. See that tiny little tip? See it? So I just kind of tap it like this. Now, as a spectator, when you're looking at it, your eyes go to that and you see like little leaves. So you figured, oh, those are the trees in there. So you don't have to do the whole thing like that. You just tap the top, just like that. And this way you can punch out those little leaves of those top of the trees, which make it look very pretty and very natural and very soft. And then you can back out and look at it. In here, it could be just a little bit darker right there. So now look at my brush stroke now. Now I'm tapping a different way. I'm taking it and I'm just going like this, hitting it. And then I skip. This would be another tree here, and you just go like this, and you hit it. See, tap, and you tap it. So all these strokes are different. Painting strokes are different, values are different, brushes that you use are different, because by having this different, you get different effects. Value shades are different, complementary to one another, but they have to be different. Now the trees are beginning to look more like trees. Now right here where the boat is, I want to take a little bit of, because if this boat was actually sailing, you could probably see some water over here. It would be pushing some water. So let's put it there, like that. Yeah, like this, because it's moving, it's going. So, and then right in here, you would put this sail, which is really pretty because it's being caught by the wind, and you would kind of redefine it like this, you see. And you take your time, you don't do this in a hurry. It's not about speed, it's about quality, the quality of the work. I mean, this could take forever. The main thing I care about is that it looks nice and it comes out nice. I don't care how long it took. If I take 6 months doing a painting, it doesn't matter to me. I'm more interested in the results. I'm sure Leonardo da Vinci wasn't concerned about how long he took when painting the Mona Lisa. He was just involved painting the Mona Lisa. He didn't care about whether it took a year or not. Most painters, they don't care. They just get so involved in it that they just continue painting it. That's why they end up with such good results. They forget about time and what it's supposed to be. Time doesn't matter. What matters is the passion that you have for your art. That's what really counts. And the result. Now look how pretty that's coming out. Now what we're going to do here, we're going to take a little bit of blue. Now the reason I chose this particular painting, and there's a reason being, is that this particular painting doesn't have too many values, so it makes it easier for you. So I chose blue and green and gray and a little white, not too many colors. So this way it makes it easier to do. If I chose something like that, then it's a little advanced. But this thing is simplified, so it's easier to do. And this eventually will get you to do that. Because people don't do things because so much of the talent. They do it because they desire and have the passion to do it. That's why the show is called You Can Do It Too. Now look how pretty that's coming out. Now over here, well, let's just put a little blue here because I want to show a little bit of dimension here. So I just put a little blue there. And of course, as the sky gets down, it gets a little bit, it fades away. It gets a little bit, look how pretty this is, And something, the more you do this, the more you enjoy it. And you get involved in it like that. And then you back off and you look at it. And it looks pretty. And I'll take a little bit more of this and I'll just spread it out like that. And like this. Like this. See, so now by my doing that, I separated the horizon from that, which looks nice. Now what we can do to emphasize this painting just a little bit more, we're going to just put some dark here, like that, and here. You have to bring things out, and you have to make them look a little dramatic. If they're a little dramatic and they look more intense, they're more appealing to the eye. And you know what they say about a painting? If it's at a gallery and a spectator passes by and just looks like this and walks away, it's nice when you grab your spectator and they look and they can't walk away. Like they look at it, like the screaming eagle, you look at it and you say, gee, how did she do that? And I'm going to tell you, the way I did it, you can do it. Now I'm just making this a little bit more intense, like this. And by doing this, what I am doing is I'm going to bring out those waves. And now I always back up a little bit. And the reason being for that is that you have to put things into perspective. And sometimes if you're too on top of it, you really can't see. If you back up and you look at it, you go, oh, I could have did this, I could have done this. Oh, this needs a little changing, that looks, and you can do it. So this is why I do that. Right here, there's a little bit, you could, let's put over here, like the bottom of the sand, there's always a little bit of dirt and rocks and whatever. So you have to kind of draw that too. It's never just one solid color. You know, you want to make that a little bit intense. And now that I added all this dark, what I'm gonna do now is come back again and then get my titanium white, which I have right over here, and I'm gonna clean out my brush with a little turpenoid, wipe off, because you don't contaminate colors, otherwise it begins to look muddy. And then you take it, and then you start again. Now here you just kind of like, now it's a light touch. Now you just go with a light touch like this. Now you take this and you do a really light little touch like that. And you tap it like that, like this, you know, like that. Let's get that away, like this. Here I could put, this boat should be a little bit more intense, so let's do that. Even though that side is a little darker, it's still, this side here, which is coming from the lab, is like super white because that's the part that the sun is hitting. So you want to put that there, like that. See, now that looks a little better, doesn't it? That looks a little bit better. So like I said before, if you have paintings, or if you attempted this little painting, you can bring it to me at 2110 Forest, and I'll give you a free critique. I'll just give you a little idea of how to work it, you know. Because I used to go to a critique class at the Salmagundi Club, which I'm a member of, and I used to get free critique. So, and I felt it really helped me a lot. So if you want free critique for your paintings, by all means, bring them in, and I would love to give you critique. And we could exchange some artistic ideas, which I love to do. I always like to talk to other artists and painters because I feel like I learn from you like you learn from me. This is a learning process. This show is not about me. This show is about you. This show is about you. And this show is really about you can do it too and tapping on your potential. That's what this show is about. And there's a lot of benefit from the show because it relieves stress. It keeps you very busy and occupied. It's almost like yoga. When you do yoga, you end up feeling energized. This is the same thing. This just puts you in a whole good mood. Sometimes you want to kind of like isolate yourself and just go off in a room and paint, or take the canvas and go outside and do plein air, which is outside. Just go to the destination, and if you can't finish it, take a camera and shoot it That's what they do at the Salmagundi Club. They take cameras and they go and they shoot it in the park, and you start the painting. You can't finish the painting because the thing is, you're not going to be there where the lighting is going to change. So you shoot the pictures, you get all your pictures, you take it to your studio, you start it there, and then you finish in your art studio. And the old masters did that. Because it's very hard to start a painting and then finish it all in one shot, especially when your lighting is constantly changing. And the lighting changes so rapidly. I tried doing it at home, and I looked and I saw a beautiful red sky. What a sunset. I said, oh my God, this is gorgeous. By the time you pull all your stuff out and you start getting everything together, the lighting source starts changing, and all of a sudden you lose that beautiful effect. But if you have your camera, you just shoot, 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 and then you can start it and continue. I think I missed this guy here. He's wearing yellow, and I don't have him in there, so like I'm gonna put a little bit yellow there to show that he's there. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna take a little bit of dark because he's from a distance, and this is the back of them. So I'm just gonna put like his little head there, so you could see. You could just see there's people there on the boat. That's all. It's just an idea. And then I'm gonna intensify again, like I said, the word reinstating, and I'm gonna take this, and I'm going to reinstate this sail. And this is how we do it. Again, like take it, and you just lay the paint down like that, this, and then we take a little bit of dark to put in the shadow, and we just put in here so you could see there's shadow there, like that. There's a puff of wind and it's catching it, so you want to see that too, and you want to show that. So that's also important. You know, you want to make it as kind of realistic as possible. So, and you look back, you always look at it. And we can again take these little, and we could kind of just, see, put this like that, and add this there, here, a little bit there, and there. And the more you add these little waves is coming. So look how nice that looks. And here's a little bit from the sailing, the water is being pushed. So you got to show that too. So that is how it's done. And pick up your paintbrush, start painting, and tap on your potential. Look how pretty. Look how pretty that looks. Doesn't that look pretty? And the fun part is when you're really reinstating at the end, because then it begins to look like the painting. In the beginning, you're just blocking things out. But when you start doing it where it begins to look like it, it really looks pretty. You could put some clouds here. Add these clouds. Look there, like. Oh, here's a little sun shining through. Here. Just that's coming out through there. It's kind of breaking through there. That looks pretty. There. So there you go. So remember always, like I always say, and I keep repeating it, if I can do it, you can do it too. Look how pretty that's coming. Now it's beginning to look realistic compared to the way we started. We started with a blank canvas, and you got this out of it. Look, see? Look how pretty that looks, see? It's sailing away, and it looks really nice. And then this could be like a little lighter right there. So there. Put a little white here. Take that away. Whenever there's a little too much paint, just wipe it off. It's no big deal. Wiping it off is like erasing. It's like an eraser and a pencil. You make a mistake, you just erase it. Like that. And you look, and you back off, and you look, and they're sailing away to Keyport. And that looks pretty. And then you have a little bit of yellow ochre, which I'm going to put here with a little bit, because the sun is hitting these little trees. So let's just tap it. Tap that. Take a little bit of this yellow and tap that, you see, like that. And tap that. That looks nice. Like this. So, there. Just a little bit. So it's two-tone. It doesn't look so like that. That looks kind of pretty. And you just blend it. And look how nice that looks. You know, it's really pretty. And we could put a little bit more blue in here if you want more blue. Like that. Take a little bit of this blue. There. That's it. There. And that looks very nice, you know. So remember, you tone your canvas, you let it dry overnight, and then you take your picture, you look at the painting you're going to do, you block out, you can put some dots for measurements to know where you're going to place your boat, the trees and everything, and then you just block out what you're going to do, and then you come back, and then you reinstate it, and you take your time. And little by little, you reinstate it until you get the painting finished, you know. So always remember that if I can do it, you could do it too. And I say it over and over again because I want you to believe in yourself. And believing in yourself makes it happen. I read some good books about believing in myself. And without the belief that I can't paint this, I would not be able to. So I have to believe I could do it. And I always start with, I can do it, I will do it, and I'm going to do it. And I'm passing it on to you. You can do it too. So now look at the painting and look how pretty it's coming. Little by little, we worked it up. Now this, you can come back to it, you can let it dry, and you can come back to it and you can reinstate it some more. And then you let it dry, because it's wet now. You let it dry and you could reinstate it some more. And the more you reinstate it, the better it gets. So you just, that's what I do. I'll leave it dry and then I come back and I reinstate it again. And then I get more of the effect I want. So the more you build it up, the better it gets. There you go. So, like this. Look at how pretty. And you take your time. It's not about rushing. It's not about, in real estate, I guess the saying goes is location, location, location. In art is quality, quality, quality. So when you paint, you got to think of quality. You don't think of speed, you think of quality. Thanks for joining my show of You Could Do It Too. Love you guys, and I'll see you again.
You can do it too. Easy as 1, 2, 3. You can do it too. Come along and draw with me. Pads and pencils, a very good start. So when you draw with your heart. You draw with your heart, 'cause you can do it too.